Have you ever wondered what the life of an Amazon FBA seller really looks like? What are the hours? Is it easy? Is it hard? Well, my name is Gerald. I am a six-figure Amazon seller. These are my numbers for the week. I'm on pace for 10K this week. And I'm going to take you through my daily routine from morning to night so you guys know exactly what you're getting into. All right, so in the mornings, I like to have a cup of coffee. I like to spend time with the pets, even if they don't like spending time with me, newest cat. But this is not just a staging kind of thing for the video. I actually do come to this room in the mornings to do my morning work. And the morning work is maintenance. So this is what I like to call the maintenance phase. This is what I check up on everything that would have happened overnight, make sure it's taken care of before I move on with the rest of the day. So that's PPC, Facebook ads, and also emails. So I'm going to show a little bit of details, but I do want to suggest to get one a pair of these. Now this is the reason actually that I go to this room, is that I used to transitioning from a regular job to an online business kind of job. I'm all of a sudden spending way more time in front of the monitors, in front of the computers, right? The three monitors that you saw in the intro. And waking up to that, I got a lot of headaches, like legit every single day, headaches at night. So I got these. These are not prescription. These are blue filter, but I'm gonna take them off because I'm pretty sure there's a glare from the ring light. But I got these blue filter glasses, and I definitely suggest them if you guys are going to be spending a lot of time. You know, you're always on the computer, always on the phone. It actually helped a lot with my migraines. But so yeah, I like to sit in this kind of chill room, I like to call it, and go over my PPC. So when I go over PPC, typically this is something you're gonna babysit for a while, especially if it's a brand new launch. You're gonna look at the ACoS and your profit margin. So ACoS, your average cost of sale, and then you got to compare that to your profit margin. So if the profit margin, for example, is 50%, right? You have a 50% profit margin, but your ACoS is 50%, so it's costing you 50% to sell the product through the pay-per-click. Then that means you're not making any money on that product, right? You're not making, every time you sell, you're not making money. You're actually losing money because of fees and whatnot. So I like to have at least 5%. So if I have a 50% profit margin, I want to have at least 45% ACoS to keep that keyword. But that depends on my goals, right? If I'm launching a product, I'll probably be more aggressive with that. Whereas if I'm fine-tuning my PPC campaign, I might be a little more strict on those percentages. Next is, so that's probably 20 minutes of the day, just looking through that. Maybe less, maybe more, depending on what stage of the product you're at, right? Next is going to be your Facebook ads. So this is not something that's going to change drastically overnight, typically, unless it's a brand new ad. But I like to just look at the ads to make sure they're still doing well. And it's also a bit of a motivator when you see the conversions. And like, okay, I made this many sales off the ad, it's doing well, and you get that little bump of motivation in the morning, right? So next is going to be your emails. So depending on how many products you have, typically I will have like 50 new emails in the morning, but that is with 7 products or 6 products, with 7th just arriving. So 6 products, I have email campaigns going out for when people purchase. I have those emails for when people are landing on ClickFunnels, you know, promotional campaigns. So the emails you're dealing with, typically if someone says just something nice about the product, I'll give them an easy thank you. Or like if someone has a complaint or a question about the product, I'll hit them with that. If they have something wrong with coupon codes, whatever it may be, there's just a lot of emails that you're gonna have to deal with as an Amazon seller. If you have one product, when I had one product, it was maybe 1 or 2 a day. But actually that's before I set up email campaigns and all that kind of stuff. So if I had one product, I'd probably still get maybe 7 a day, right? When you have more products, obviously more emails, more stuff like that. So that's just something that I still take care of. Getting a VA is something I could definitely look into, but I still think it's reasonable for me to spend the hour that it takes to go through all that. Now, I also want to mention that this does not include my Everyman's Empire emails. So if any one of you have sent emails into info@everymansempire.com or gerald@everymansempire.com or myeverydayempire@gmail.com, you've probably talked to me on email. So that actually takes way more time than the Amazon side. But for now, we're talking about just Amazon. So all in all, the morning maintenance section of my Amazon, which is PPC, Facebook ads, and emails, customer response, I'm looking at about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the day. Okay, so that is your morning if you are an Amazon seller. So let's move on to what I do next. Now, the next part of the day is a key section that I think a lot of sellers will overlook or not even consider when they're starting this, and that is interacting on your brand social media accounts. So when you get onto Amazon, you are selling on Amazon, but if you want to start transitioning and really building it right, you want to start building brand accounts for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and just have some kind of community there, because that's the best way to really grow. And when you have like launches and whatnot, you have some kind of following, even if it's only 300, 400 followers spread across those networks, but a few of them are your loyals, right? You just want to make sure you keep an interaction there and slowly build a brand account for your products. So that took me about an hour to do all of that. That includes posting. So I'll post a new picture on Instagram. I'll post something on Twitter, and then I'll respond to any messages, which is very rare that I have messages there actually. And then I'll do Pinterest. Pinterest is the one I focus on the most actually, because Pinterest has a very high buyer conversion. Lots of people, I forgot the stat, it's like 90% of people, or 1 in 2 people that are on Pinterest are there looking for something to buy. So for a product business, Pinterest is a key to have stuff like that. So if it just post things like, well, actually it depends on what your brand is, but if you post those lists, those tips, show people how to use your product, show people why your product is beneficial, then you'll see some pretty good numbers on Pinterest. So now we got most of the maintenance stuff out of the way. We will revisit emails later down the road, but right now we're about 2 to 2.5 hours into our day, depending on the specific day, how many emails you've got. So now we're getting into the actual bulk of the actual Amazon stuff. Now this is research. And depending on what stage of Amazon you're at, whether you're starting or you already have products in, you're going to spend a considerable amount of time doing research. Now that's not just product research, that's research in general, studying, learning. So when I say research, I am doing product research, even though I have six products in right now. I'm always looking for a new product to add to my brand. Maybe there's new products that are coming out that would be great additions, different ways to bundle. So I'm always doing product research just so I'm keeping tabs on what's out there and available in the market, right? And then after product research, I'm looking at product improvements. So ways I can improve my current products. Maybe new models are coming out. I'll see competitors that have new variations that I've never seen before. Then I'll try to find out how they did that, where I can get that from, and if it would work with my brand, right? So looking for new products, looking for ways to improve your products, and then also looking for new techniques and always trying to learn, right? Always be learning. So I will always be going on the forums, going on Facebook groups, and just keeping up. Maybe I'm not posting, but I'll always be there just lurking and just seeing what's going on. Maybe there's new videos, new techniques, that are out there that are changing the game, or Amazon's changing rules, right? Amazon's changing policies, just like that. The giveaway thing I did a video on earlier with Casey Goss. Just kind of stuff like that where you want to make sure you're always on top of what's happening in the Amazon world. So this is going to take, depending on what stage you're at, right now I'm doing about 2 to 3 hours of this. When you started off as a beginner, you're probably going to do way more in this section, so probably 4 hours a day just studying. I mean, you don't have to do this, right? Just again, this is my personal schedule. I don't have a day job. I don't have anything like that. I don't have kids to take care of. So this is my full schedule, just to give you an idea, but you can adjust hours according to whatever your day is, right? So we're at 2 hours from the maintenance, and then we're at 2 to 3 hours on research, right? That's the bulk of my day is the research. So we're about 5 hours in. So now that part is done. Now I'm going to go back into email. Now this is not responding. This is not customer support kind of stuff. This is planning emails. So putting new emails out, checking the split test of emails. So when I have split tests for review emails. So when someone purchases a product, I'll have split tests of what kind of emails go out, what has better conversions for actual having people leave reviews, and then I'll check that and I'll test that, and I'll plan new stuff. So I'll plan content emails. So even with my Amazon brand, I'm putting out like newsletter type of stuff, which is almost the same content I'm going to be putting out on Pinterest, right? So I'm sharing content. I'm not always creating brand new stuff. So tips and tricks for my products. Did you know this kind of blah, blah, blah. And then putting out new content for, hey, are you running out of this? Do you need more? And setting up new automations, checking progress of automations, email automations in ActiveCampaign, and also in Feedback Wiz to see what kind of responses we're getting, what kind of open rates, what kind of click-through rates we're getting. And this is only going to take me like 15 minutes a day. Now, again, I'm stating these stuff as per day, but sometimes I won't plan new content every day, right? I don't check the email click-through rate every day, but then I'll do it all in one day and it'll be like for an hour, right? So I'm splitting it up into like 15 minutes a day, just so you get an idea of a daily, if you were to do every single thing every single day. But just keep in mind that not every task has to be done every day. Okay, so next I'm going to be talking to suppliers. This is going to take me about 30 minutes a day, and again, it'll vary depending on how many suppliers you have, right? So I have 4 suppliers between my 7 products, or my 6 products, my 7th one's coming in, right? So 4 different suppliers, and I'm always keeping tabs on them, seeing what they're doing, and they're always going to be messaging me as well. You trying to bring me new business, bring me new ideas, stuff like just negotiating new prices, like keeping track on my orders. Like I have this much in stock, I'm going to be ordering this much soon, just so you know. Give me a quote on that, and then trying to get a better price. You know, I've been with you with for so and so long. I would appreciate a lower price on this, and then you actually start building a relationship with these people because you're talking to them so often, right? And also, like I mentioned earlier, if you're seeing competitors doing new variations, I'll bring that to them as well. Hey, this competitor is doing this variation. He has this bundle. He has this new color. He has this new design. Do you offer that, right? And like I said, you're building relationships with them. You know what they're doing on the weekend. You know their names. You know a little bit backstory on their family. Just because every business is a people business. I've said it before. Every business is a people business, even if it's an online business. So the stronger your relationship with the supplier, the more likely they are to give you good prices, to work with you well, and even shut down some of your competitors and have you as an exclusive purchaser for some of their items, right? So always keep on tabs with suppliers. That's about 30 minutes of my day. And again, it's not every single day, but if I was to round it out between a month, it would be about 30 minutes a day just talking to the suppliers. Next, I'm talking to influencers and designers. Now, designers, I threw them in here, but they're not very often. Sometimes, you know, you'll want to change to the box, or if you're launching a new product, you want a new box design. I also have them do some of my Pinterest stuff, so I will talk to them a little more often. But if you don't want to have a designer do that kind of stuff, then you don't need that. But influencers, I'm a strong believer in having influencer marketing, and it's not always huge campaigns. It's not always like, you know, a big influencer that's going to do a big Instagram post or a big YouTube video, but even just having small influence, because having a large quantity of people reviewing your product or posting about your product on Instagram, even though you might not see immediate sales from that, it's just having that presence, right? So when someone searches up your brand, for example, I don't know, ClickFunnels, right? If you say your brand is ClickFunnels, and you have a bunch of little influencers all of a sudden on Google popping up, review of this, review of ClickFunnels, review, and then you go to Instagram and hashtag your brand. Even if they're small influencers, it gives you that presence and it gives you that social proof, right? So I'm always, and I do have big campaigns too. Well, I'll use famebit.com. I'll have, you know, million subscriber YouTube channels, do reviews or do unboxings or just mention it on a haul video, stuff like that. So I'm always talking to new influencers, talking to old influencers, seeing how they can do new videos. And that's going to be about, between the influencers and the designers, that'll come down to about 15 to 30 minutes a day. Now, once that's all done, I'm going to go back. Typically at the end of the day before I go to bed, I'll check all the emails all over again, because throughout the day I've collected a bunch more emails, and then I'll answer all those. That's about another 30 minutes of my night. And then I'll actually throw into this list calling Amazon. Now again, this is not an everyday thing, but as any Amazon seller knows, you're talking to an Amazon representative quite often. It might be a problem, it might be hijacked, or it might be whatever it may be. You're probably going to be calling Amazon quite a bit, especially in the beginning, but actually it continues. You'll always need to be calling Amazon. There's always going to be something that's going to pop up where you need to have their number. I have it actually as saved as a contact in my phone, Amazon support. So I'll just throw that in as like 15 minutes because, again, maybe once a week, maybe once a month sometimes, but it will happen where you're going to need to pick up the phone, call support, and see what's going on with your account. So after all that, actually one more thing is that ClickFunnels, I will be, I do check split tests on ClickFunnels, I do check opt-in rates on ClickFunnels and all that kind of stuff, because I do have some funnels that go directly hand in hand with my Amazon business. But a lot of you I know aren't going to jump into that right away, but if you are planning on building that brand out and having getting your own customers, getting your own emails in, then ClickFunnels is the way to go. So total this all up, and you're looking at about 6 to 7 hours per day on my Amazon business. Now, is Amazon passive, right? That's the big question. Is Amazon passive? At this point, I would say no, right? 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day. That's typically not what most people would consider to be passive. But let me just reframe this for you. And again, I have 6 products, right? So I guess we could say probably an hour per product is what it typically averages out to. But 6 to 7 hours to me is awesome, right? Like you might think, oh my gosh, 6 to 7 hours, that's horrible. That's not passive at all. That's awesome. Like that's less than, first of all, it's less than a 9 to 5. But most importantly, it's the fact that it's flexible. Maybe it's not passive, but it's the flexibility that gives it the feeling of passiveness, right? And earning money while you sleep, that's literally what it is. That's what happens, right? You wake up in the morning, you refresh your thing, and you got money. Like, it's not passive, but it's flexible. And what I mean by that is that I don't actually spend 7 hours every single day. Like, I can do 2 hours one day, maybe 9 hours the next day, 3 hours the day after, 7 hours, 1 hour, 10 hours. You can stretch it out however you want. Just make sure you get the things done, right? As opposed to my catering company where it was like, you got to make sure you wake up at the right time to get this certain dish done. You got to deliver it to the party, or for me it was the film set at a certain time. You know what I mean? So you're restricted within these time windows and these time schedules. Same as when I was in sales, it's this to this time, this to this. Now it's do whatever you want, really. You know what I mean? You can stretch it out however you want. You wake up, answer the emails, go watch a movie in the day, come home, take a nap. Then I do the influencers, and then you can do it however you want to. So Amazon's not passive. Straight up, Amazon is not a passive income business if you want to take it big and scale it huge, right? But the flexibility is what you do it for. Now, again, if you want to have just one product, yeah, probably could be super passive, right? You have a few emails a day, that's about it. You're babysitting your listing for a bit, then you get your PPC optimized, and you get it all smoothed out, and then you're just worried about reordering, and you got one product. Like some of our students spend way less time than I do, but they make more actually because they just got one really hot product that just boom, skyrocketed, right? So it depends how it goes, right? So some people, maybe they're not really stretching the truth. Maybe they do only spend half an hour a day, make $20,000 a month because they got one product, and it's less time. But for someone who's realistically trying to build a huge brand off of this, or kind of take it higher and higher and higher, it's going to get to the point, right? But again, it depends how you set everything up. You can delegate this stuff. You can get VAs. You can get it so that it gets down to that point where even at 42, 50, 60, 100 products, you don't spend more than 5 hours a day because you got certain systems in place. So it all comes down to the way you look at it. But for me, I love it. And people ask, and now I do want to throw in that between this and Everyman's Empire, so what I do with EME, where I'm writing the webinars, I'm doing some of the ads, I'm doing the the ClickFunnels, the website, the emails. I do work about 10 hours a day. Now, my actual work day, that's why I wanted to do this video throughout the day, but I just didn't have time to. That's why I'm doing it in the middle of the night, because that's the only time I get to edit videos, right? So including that, editing videos, recording videos, thumbnails, whatever it may be, I'm doing about 10 to 15 hours a day. Now, people always ask, if you have this business, it's passive business, right? Why do you waste time? I love that. Why do you waste time making these YouTube videos? And it's because there's always a bigger goal. Just because people have this thing where it's like, you see someone who's doing more. Like me, I'll look at Grant Cardone. I'm like, why is he still working? It's probably the same reason I am, right? Once you hit a certain point, it gets boring. You want to still reach for more. You always want to reach up, right? Like, people say, when are you going to be satisfied? Like, I think satisfied is boring. Like, how long can you be satisfied for until it's not satisfying anymore, right? You can only take so long on vacation. You can only play games for so long until your mind is melted, right? So that's why I do it. And also, it's to make a bigger footprint and leave some kind of remembrance leave my mark here, right? I'm only 20 years old. I'm not going to retire just because I'm making, $10K a month on Amazon, profit. It's ridiculous to me when people say those. leave those kind of comments. It's because like you're always gonna want something. You're always gonna want to have a goal to work for, and if that's being able to help people, being able to spread what you've learned and share your journey, and just by me sharing what I've done so far, I'm not like some whiz like Nick. Haven't been in it for almost 3 years yet. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. I'm just documenting what I'm doing and giving the tips out as I go, and it's helping people, and that's really cool to me, right? That's awesome to me, and I want to feel like I'm helping people, but at the same time, I know that the people, some of you guys in the comments, it is affecting, and especially with the success stories, the success students, people who are raving about the course, it's literally changing the way they're living, and that's awesome to me. So that's why I do it, even though it adds more time. I wouldn't be doing anything else. Like if I didn't have Everman's Empire, I didn't have all this stuff, I would do Amazon for 7 hours a day, and then I'd be bored. I would do nothing, right? I would sit on the couch and waste time. So it's not a waste of time. It's actually the most productive use of my time that I could think of. So is Amazon FBA passive? No. Is it still worth it? Yes, because you're building that flexibility. You're working for yourself, and that's what it's all about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to become an empire builder. And what is an empire builder? It's every single one of you that's watching that is grinding day in, day out to build your very own empire, but most importantly, you never give up because you know that your empire awaits. I'm Gerald, and I'll see you guys in the next one.